Hello again everybody. I haven't done much in the way of videoing for this year's GGBO build, mainly because I don't have to, and I'm a reluctant videographer at the best of times. But I've reached a stage in the build now where I think it's an interesting point, and so I thought I'd make a video just to kind of sum up where I am and explain the present challenge and sort of give pointers to where I'm going to go next. So this is the top of the instrument. It's still oversized and I've largely braced it, but there's one major brace across here which I haven't done yet, and there's a good reason for that, which I'll try and explain by setting it up on the body of the instrument. It's all to do with the neck angle. So here's the top fixed temporarily onto the body, and this is the bit of wood I'm going to use for the bridge of the thing, which on this instrument is not glued down to the top like on a normal acoustic guitar. It's a floating bridge, which isn't relevant to this particular issue, but just as an aside, what makes this problem, which affects all acoustic guitars, so it's not really a problem, but it's something to sort out. It's the same thing for all acoustic guitars, but it's slightly more critical here because on a normal acoustic guitar you have a bone saddle set into the wooden bridge, obviously, and you have a bit of wiggle room in that you can play around with the height of that saddle to a certain extent. Whereas here, this is both the bridge and the saddle. So in other words, this piece of wood is shaped into a ridge, and the strings pass straight over it, over the top of the ridge. So this is the saddle. The height is, I've got 18 millimeters, which is pretty much perfect, but I've got no way of expanding it upwards. So it's more critical than normal to get the neck angle right, so that when the strings pass over here, there is the correct angle, the correct action over the join fret, which on this one will be the 13th. So what I normally do is I have my neck angle gauge. I set the this screw to the height of the fretboard plus the frets, and this to the height that I want the bridge to be. So the bridge of a normal acoustic guitar, not the bridge plus the saddle. And that's because you normally reckon that if you lay a straight edge along the tops of all the frets when the neck is in place, the end of the ruler should just hit the top of the bridge, not knock into it and not be above it, just kiss it on the top. And then by the time you've added the height of the saddle above that, the action over the 12th fret will be about right, and you can play around with it a little bit. But so here I've set the fretboard plus fret height as usual, and here I've set this to 14 millimeters, which is 4 millimeters less than the height of this. So I'm sort of pretending there's a virtual saddle height of 4 millimeters above what would be the bridge, but it's all one piece, as I said. So here I just this is obviously put in the place where the bridge will be, and then I can just use this swinging arm up against the end of the body here. I'll bring it round to the other side, I think it'll be clearer. So here you can see the neck angle jig in place. You've got the fretboard plus fret height there, and the, in this case, virtual saddle height set here. and the swinging arm will come in, and once it fits along the edge of the body, you can take it off and measure the desired neck angle, which I think I measured to be 1.8 degrees off a right angle. But that's not quite the end of the story, because unless you're doing an elevated fretboard, the fretboard has to lie along the top wood without caps, and very often in fact it's glued down, and it must be at the same angle. You don't want the fretboard to kind of bend down once it breaks over the top wood, nor should it obviously go up in a kind of ski jump thing, and so you need to check that this, which is the line of the fretboard, is parallel to the line of the top. And if I measure here, it's 7.5 millimeters. And if I measure here, which is more or less where the end of the fretboard is, it's 8.5 millimeters. So it's not parallel, and that means I need to shave a bit of wood off here, or raise the top wood here by 1 millimeter or so in either case, in order to get the top parallel with this line or between these points, between here and the end of the fretboard at least. And that's actually why I haven't yet fitted this brace, because I've got the opportunity to shape the brace to raise this part of the top wood by 1 millimeter or so if I can. Maybe if it were more, certainly I wouldn't be able to put that much of a curve on it, and I'd have to raise it a reasonable amount, and then probably also take some wood either off the top or off the block and the sides as they come in and join the block, just to make that part of the top wood lower when it's glued down. But I think here I should have enough play to be able to shape the brace underneath. Where is the wood? This piece, if I put a curve on it with 1 millimeter in the middle, keeping it flat, but so a sort of flat plateau, curving down at the sides by 1 millimeter in each direction, then I should be able to get this parallel to the line of the bottom of the gauge here. I hope that makes sense. It's tricky. It's tricky to get my head around every time. I'm more or less used to doing it on acoustic guitars, but with this one, as I say, it's because of the lack of wiggle room with a saddle, it's that much more pernickety to get right. So there you have it, just a quick explanation of where I am at the moment and what the next step will be. Basically, I'll be making this into a flat plateau 1 millimeter above the ends of the brace, which will curve down gradually so that the top will have a sort of gradual curve with a flat bit in the middle that the fretboard can sit on without any gaps. So that's the next step, to shape this brace and glue it in, and then the top will be finished, and I can close the box up, as they say, glue it all together. So that's all for the moment. Until the next time, goodbye for now.